That was much louder than I intended. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Day is Done, episode 4. So happy to be here. We've got two great guests. Starting off, we have my good friend since 4th grade and also roommate throughout college, except for that 1 year that I had the roommate that I hated. Fuck you. But not Liron, though. It's Liron Burstein. Come on. Put your video on. Welcome to the show, Liron.
Glad to be here.
Hell yeah. Let's see. If you could have an animal come on the show, what would it be? Don't even think. Just say it.
An iguana.
Thank you. That's a good start. Well, that'll come back later.
Okay,
Don't you worry. And another friend dear to my heart, a bro throughout college. Please welcome Kyle Mahan. Come on.
Hello. Happy
Kyle.
to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
I understand the power went out minutes before we were supposed to start.
It was an unfortunate circumstance. It seems the universe might be working against us tonight, but we'll make the best of it. I'm sitting in my car, my light on, and this is, I guess, just how we're gonna do it.
I guess so. Thank you so much for coming on. Oh, Kyle, if you could have an animal come on the show, what would it be?
Crocodile.
A crocodile and an iguana.
Yes, sir.
All right. Interesting.
We're doing reptiles tonight.
Welcome to Reptile Night on Day is Done. And also, secret special guest. Oh, shit. I just dropped a bunch of shit on my desk. I don't know if you want me to say your full name. Miss Emily Brand on the drums. She does not play the drums, ladies and gentlemen. But that's okay. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. We're going to start with a more serious topic, and then we're going to transition into some lighter stuff and end with a game.
Sure.
Kyle, I'm going to start with you. Could you give us a little bit about your background as a scientist? What is science to you?
Well, I think first and foremost, science is a passion, especially now doing my master's, I dedicate so much time to it. Sometimes I'm in lab 12 to 14 hours a day. And it's, a real part of my lifestyle. It's something I enjoy doing. I have a passion for scientific discovery. And it's a very central part of my life, I would say.
Hell yeah. I love to hear about that passion. That's what we love to really dig into on this show. Really get our teeth nice and dug into the discussion of the passion. Liron, same question. And if you could work in a little quirky response about how you're in my basement right now, that would be great too.
Not really sure how to throw in the basement thing, but
well,
I definitely think, science is definitely a passion, and it's something that you put a lot of time into, and the benefit is you can really change the world for a lot of people. Like, I've really enjoyed the work that I'm doing in a pharmaceutical company right now.
Fuck yeah. I love it, guys. Good answer. Ooh, good. I don't know if how well my mic's gonna pick that up, but yeah, good answer, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show. I know that you are not necessarily theater people or performers like a lot of my guests have been.
Sure.
Most of them are actors, and then there's Smiling, who is just a character unto himself. But you guys focus, that's not quite where your focus is. So I really appreciate coming on the show. I wanted to talk a little bit about the vaccines, because I have a lot of coworkers who just don't really trust the vaccines, or they don't think it's worth it, or um, for whatever reason, they're not planning on getting it. And I was just hoping to have a little talk with you guys about. I don't quite understand what an mRNA vaccine means. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, do you want me to just jump
Yeah,
in
just
and
go
start?
for it. Yeah.
So
Sure, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'll try to talk about it in simple terms. So in our cells, we have our DNA and our mRNA, and these are essentially it's instructions to make proteins. It's like sort of a book, I guess, that our cells can read, and they read these instructions, this data, and they use it to make proteins that can do a wide variety of things. That's what mRNA is. It's the instructions for protein synthesis. And so part of this COVID virus is it's called a spike protein. It's part of the virus capsule. And so how this mRNA vaccine works in pretty simple terms, we deliver mRNA that encodes this spike protein. It's the instructions to make this spike protein. It delivers that to our cells. And so our cells can now read this information, and we can make our own copies of this spike protein, and we can recognize it within our own bodies. And that triggers an immune response. So when the foreign virus comes in with this same spike protein, we already know how to recognize it because we've seen it before. The instructions are in our cells, and our immune system knows how to respond to that. Essentially, we've seen it before, we know how to make it, we've produced it in our bodies, and we know what it is, so we can respond to the virus coming in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a good
That
explanation.
was really, yeah.
Cool. I know.
Yeah.
I
That's
want
a
to
lot
say
more basic than I could make it.
yeah, I like
I
to.
hope I didn't go too fast. But
No, I like to somewhat prep guests on the show, but not too much, like, because I want to, an in the moment response. And
mhm.
yeah, I don't know how you could have said that any better. That's great stuff.
Well, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I think, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I think a big part of science in an area where a lot of scientists might fail is explaining things in terms that a layperson could understand. Because as scientists, we get so into, the technicalities, talking about things with other scientists, that we forget that, sometimes the things we're saying don't make sense to someone who doesn't have a bunch of experience in the field. So for me personally, I try to put a lot of stock and, practice in explaining things in terms that everyone can understand. I think it's very important to make science accessible. And I think we're going to go into this too. I think, a problem with the vaccines is that people don't understand what they are. They don't understand the effect it has on your body. So I think it's important to explain it in these accessible terms so we can get this information across to everybody, even people who aren't scientists, and we can get better understanding and educate more people that way.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's great. You guys are totally ready for that. So to switch quickly to a more personal aspect before we go back to the science, Liron, I'll start with you.
Sure.
What does it mean to you, a fully vaccinated population, or at least a population with herd immunity, on a more personal level? What would that let you do that you miss doing?
I mean, I think it would allow us to get back to a lot of things we used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's substantial limits on the capacities for things like sporting events. I'd love to get to go to a baseball game and stuff. I know that as currently a fully vaccinated person, I could go and do those things now, and not everybody might have the ability, but that's definitely been one of the big things that I've been looking forward to, is getting back to the old life that we used to have.
Yeah, old life. Baseball games specifically, it sounds like, and other things.
My girlfriend's very passionate about the Mets.
Yeah. Here, let me explain a little more about the setup we have. So Miss Emily Brand is, of course, on my drum set that I've had since middle school. And Liron is oh God, over there in my basement. Just a little setup we have. Jesus. And we're celebrating in Massachusetts, April 30th. Today, we are not, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask in public anymore, which is a huge turning point to me that I'm very excited about. That did. So a little backstory for what we're all doing here. And that is why I have been responsibly drinking my own Moscow Mule that I've made for myself some time ago.
Responsibly.
Responsibly. That's right. Listen, hey, listen, Day is done, viewers. I remembered water this time. Didn't remember water last time. I learned my lesson. Kyle, same question. What would a population with herd immunity mean to you?
So we're talking in terms of what activities I'd like to return to, or what I sort of miss most during the quarantine.
Sure,
Is
could
that
be,
the
yeah.
question? Sure. Man, I miss partying.
Yes.
That's my number one.
Me too.
So we're gonna start there. I haven't been to a club in over a year. The last time we did was that trip I took to Israel. Actually, that's the last time I went to a club, to a social event, and then we got back and everything kind of went down the tubes a little bit. So looking forward to having an active sort of social life, going to parties and things again. Not feeling stressed out when I'm in public and in groups of large people, or exposed to a large group of people. I think it's just with COVID, there's this constant fear. Even if you're outside and you're wearing a mask, if there's other people around, it's always this anxiety. Am I doing something wrong? Am I going to catch COVID? And I think just that, not having that fear of going out into public places, and being exposed to other people is one of the biggest reliefs of having the vaccine so far. It's like it's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to freak out every time I have to go somewhere, like to the supermarket or whatever, running errands. It's not a constant source of stress anymore, if you catch what I'm saying.
For sure. Yeah. I know for me, I have an immunocompromised family member at home, and that was just such a huge source of stress throughout all this. Is, you have people who are taking it more seriously than others, and the people who aren't taking it seriously, sometimes they don't fully understand what it means for the more vulnerable people, and sometimes they just don't care. And yeah, I was talking with a previous guest on the show, Michael Tricka, about this earlier today, about how we kind of feel like we're trapped within a society in a way we haven't before, because of COVID. But with the vaccine, it just gives us that extra feeling of relief.
I definitely feel
that. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing you touched on too, about having a fear for an immunocompromised family member, because one of the arguments I see being thrown around a lot is people saying, I'm young, I don't have to worry if I get the virus. I'll be sick for a couple of days and I'll be fine. But I think for me, that's probably the likely outcome. For young people getting the virus, you'll probably be okay. There's a chance you might have severe complications, but it's fairly minuscule. But the main reason for the anxiety I felt is not for my own personal well-being if I catch the virus, but it's more, I think, the guilt I would feel if my actions caused me to pass the virus off to somebody else who might not be as fortunate, might, like you said, have a compromised immune system, or just be more susceptible to the effects of the virus. It's like, it almost feels morally wrong to be going out and doing these things, because not necessarily for the risk I could pose to myself, but for the risk I could be posing to other people if I catch the virus and I'm carrying it and exposing others. If that makes any sense. It's less a fear for me and more, I guess, guilt or a sense of conscience for how I could be affecting other people.
Yeah, and there's also if you have enough uncontrolled spread, there's a chance of variants developing, and that's its own new issue. I know that's a concern in India right now. There's a lot
Yeah,
of cases every single day, over 300,000 today, I believe. Um, and as
almost
I understand it,
400,000.
more than that.
Yeah,
Geez.
it's crazy.
And the concern, besides, of course, the horrible toll on human life, is that more variants will develop with a higher rate of transmission with these big numbers. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that the transmission's already been fairly high as we see it. The flu has been pretty much taken down by the various precautions that we're taking for
yeah,
COVID, whether it's cleaning or mask wearing,
you know,
and that really.
sorry, I'm so
Oh,
glad you mentioned that because I saw a meme and the idea was it was the same thing that you just talked about, Liron, that the flu has gone down so far this year, but the conclusion drawn from it was that COVID is a hoax and
sure.
that social distancing and masks don't work. Could you help explain why that conclusion doesn't make sense?
I mean, I think the bigger thing is that the flu is a virus that very much relies on surface contact with
Hmm.
people sneezing on each other, things that COVID doesn't necessarily rely on as much. COVID is a very uh, aerosolized virus. It gets very easily adopted into basically water particles that are in the air, and it can spread via that. And those can last a lot longer and spread a lot farther than the way that the flu has traditionally been able to spread, which is usually through surface contact or direct contact with somebody who is
Hmm.
sick.
Gotcha. What I had been thinking was that since there had been so few cases of the flu compared to other years, that was a sign that our social distancing and mask wearing measures were preventing the spread of disease, of other diseases, as a positive side effect of trying to prevent the spread of COVID.
Oh, it definitely, both are definitely being prevented by the
Hmm.
measures that we're taking. But I think the bigger thing is that this just shows how contagious COVID is, that this is already taking the flu down to such low levels and COVID is going rampant.
And COVID's still going. Yeah.
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 So,
That's a great point. I want to share that these guys are part of the class of 2020 with me from UMass Amherst. And that was an insane time. Liron graduated early, actually, but
yeah.
Kyle and I were still on campus. And March 2020, suddenly there's whispers of, are we going to leave? Is spring break going to be extra long? And then this wave of, it's in the news, it changes everything. Kyle, do you remember what the first moment that COVID kind of popped up on your radar was?
Well, I think in February 2020, people were kind of talking about it and carrying on into March. They were like, "There's this new virus emerging in China, starting to spread across Asia," and it's like, do we worry about it? Do we not? People didn't really know if it was a threat yet. They didn't know if it was just going to fizzle out in a couple of weeks, and then we started seeing cases here in the U.S. And people started saying things like, "Oh, like you said, spring break will be a bit longer. We'll have a 2-week quarantine, and everything will be back to normal." And that clearly didn't happen. But I remember at the beginning it was sort of this tentative, will it be a big deal or will it just go away in a couple weeks kind of type deal. We didn't know if it was a big deal or we didn't know if it was something we shouldn't worry about yet. And then I think mid to late March is when it became apparent, just how serious this thing was. Things started going into lockdown. People were buying up all the toilet paper, which I don't understand. It's like they thought, COVID is going to make them shit 12 times a day, or, all the toilet paper is flying off the shelves, right? These
Yeah,
responses to panic, I don't understand. But the point is, I think, mid-March to early April, is when people really started freaking out and taking this seriously, and everything kind of went down the tubes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I remember being at a New Year's party, and we had passed midnight, and I was having fun with some friends, and I was saying something over and over like 2020 is my year, or like 2020 is going to be the best year ever. And somebody made some comment about a virus, and it didn't really mean anything then, but all this time later, it's like, it's just wild. Do you
Yeah,
remember,
things
Liron?
really progressed. I remember. I'm pretty sure I remember around December hearing that there was more news that there was a virus that was increasing uh, cases around China, and that they were saying it was probably something analogous to SARS. The symptoms were like flu-like, but somewhat pneumonia-like, and it really it felt so far away. Like
Yeah.
we had just heard about all this news. It was in one part of China. Nobody really figured it was going to get that far. And then I think the thing that really started to become worrisome was when like there started to be some cases in places outside China. Like my family did a trip in February of that year, and they were looking for Chinese passports because the assumption at the time was just people in China were getting that virus and they didn't want it to spread. But I think once it started to take hold in Italy was where it started to become obvious that this wasn't just going to be a small incident. And like I remember that the cases were starting to get really bad in Italy as it started to have cases appearing in the US. And that was like, as soon as like people started getting in Seattle, like I already figured people in the US were probably starting to get it, and we just hadn't picked it up yet because we didn't have a way to test for it. And that was like the first confirmation. And definitely, I did not expect how quickly things went to lockdown. That was definitely a surprise for me.
Yeah. I remember one of my finance professors was talking about it might be extra spring break. He actually was thinking we just weren't going to come back already, and that was like the first time I had heard anything about leaving or delayed. Oh, Emily, you're making such a you're no, I see it. We're emoting together. We're remembering
together, because did I tell you the story of how I got stuck in Massachusetts here?
I don't think so. Do you want to come share this microphone?
Last spring break, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. So I was visiting Liron up here for spring break from my college's spring break, which is different from theirs. I went to American University, also graduated in 2020. And I was up here visiting them for spring break, and they were basically, I thought I was going on spring break. I was like, oh, I'll be gone 2 weeks maximum, maybe. And then they basically sent us an email of like, we are going to take an extended spring break for 2 weeks, and you guys just don't come back to campus. Just keep enjoying your spring break, and we'll continue to update you. And then another week later, I was, getting ready to head back here from Massachusetts, and then they got an email, and I got an email that was like, just don't come back.
Yeah.
Don't come back to DC. We're shutting down for the semester. Everyone should just continue their spring break plans and just don't plan on coming back to campus for the rest of the semester. And yeah, I was stuck up here, and then I went back to my home in Connecticut, and hung out there for like the first 3 months of the pandemic, or maybe 6 months. But I packed my entire apartment in DC and just left. And then a couple months later, back in May, when everything was safe, I had to go back to DC and move everything out and take my grad pictures. And it was a really weird time. That's why graduation and this year is going to have a very weird mark on my life. I'm sure all of your lives too.
Yeah, for sure. The pandemic definitely let me and Izzy, who's been on the show several times, have some extra time to spend on our writing, and we just posted our play Peace Talks kind of on a whim to this website called New Play Exchange, and then that's how it got picked up by Bema Productions. And I don't know who knows if any of that would have happened if it hadn't been for the pandemic. But at the same time, obviously some terrible things have happened to me because of it. And it's just like, I don't know, man, we're going to be talking about this for years and years. It's just so crazy to live through something like this.
Do you think we'll be talking to our grandkids about this? Be like, we just lost a year of our lives?
Absolutely. I think so. I think about that all the time. Is like, are my grandkids gonna be like, oh, we gotta write a school book report?
I think about that too. I'm gonna be like reading about this in like a textbook in like 50 years, and it's just like the pandemic.
Just start having the flashbacks, like
the dog,
the traumatic, experience. Yeah, you've seen the same meme I have, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes. We might even be able to put it here and post this meme. We'll see. I'm not gonna promise that. I'm not that good with iMovie, so I don't know.
It's okay. I'll forgive you if you don't. I'm sure people will know what we're talking about. It's a very famous meme.
Yes.
But I feel like it's even hard to keep track of like how long we were in quarantine. I mean, logically, it's been a year. Sometimes it feels like it was only a month, and sometimes it feels like it's been dragging on for 10 months. I feel like I lost all concept of time in quarantine. Maybe it's just because every day was kind of the same. Like, it's hard to have these benchmarks for judging how long a period of time we were in quarantine, if that makes sense. But it really was just a big blur that entire time. Do other people feel like that, or is that just me?
No,
I do feel like it was a blur for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, every day is the same, constant levels of stress. And I turned 23 in March, and like, I was like, what? I just turned 22. Time hasn't passed yet. That doesn't make sense.
What's weirder than that?
What?
Liron and I are turning 24 in September and November.
Oh my god. That's so
Don't
weird.
remind me.
I'm starting to
It's
understand that thing I heard growing up where people are like, oh, I don't want to get older. But as a kid, I was always like, yeah, I totally want to get older. Damn, I want to be 18. Damn, I want to be 21. And now it's like, I don't know if it's that I feel a certain pressure to be at a certain point in my life based on my age, It might be that partially.
I think it's that.
That's
but definitely what I've been feeling.
Yeah,
I
it's
just started contributing to my 401k, so I feel
ooh.
Right now.
Ooh, congratulations, Miss Adult Emily.
Yes, I know.
I think that's the sign. That's how you know you've become a like adult with a job. I have to set my 401k.
Like, now I feel like an adult with a
No
job.
kids like, I want a 401k.
Nah, I was like that my whole childhood. I popped right out and I was like, sign me up. I want my 401k from. Yep.
So before we jump to a more lighthearted topic, because we aren't going to spend the whole time talking about COVID, we'll get a little lighter. I just wanted to hear about, how do we know the vaccines are safe, and why should people go get them? Because it takes time out of their day. Maybe they're concerned about side effects, or they're just nervous. So what's the deal, guys?
Well, I just talked through this with a coworker of mine who was hesitant about the vaccine. She's from the Hispanic community. There's a lot more hesitancy in that community. And she was talking about how like a lot of her family members, her grandmother in particular, was not interested in getting the vaccine, didn't want to take it, thought it was going to risk her. And she had to tell her basically that she was going to bring more risk upon herself, risking getting COVID, than she would with the vaccine, and that the side effects really weren't going to be anything that was going to be worse than the side effects that you would get from actually getting the virus. And I think that that's been a big I wouldn't say that that's the only reason that people have hesitancy. People had that, especially towards the beginning, there was a lot of rush to get the vaccine out, and with the pandemic raging, that is something that's completely necessary. But at the same time, vaccines normally do go through a 10 to 15 year approval process, and so it makes sense why people would have worries about possible long-term side effects that haven't been investigated and stuff. But I think we're probably going to learn that there are very few side effects to this technology. The mRNA technology in particular is a very new technology, but a very proven one. And it has a lot of potential to treat things even beyond COVID. I think we're going to be seeing tons more treatments, especially for things that we already treat, like the flu vaccine. I think Moderna is now working on a candidate using an mRNA vector instead of the adenovirus vectors that are currently used. So there's a lot of different things that are going to come out of the research that went into these vaccines during the pandemic. But overall, in terms of safety, I think that these are some of the safest vaccines that have ever existed, especially if you look at the contents of things like the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines. It's pretty much just the mRNA, which is the active ingredient. And then they have 2 FDA approved buffers, and then sugar, which people take in sugar anyways nowadays. So
plenty of sugar, especially in the States.
They're very simple vaccines. There's not much in them, and hopefully that means that there shouldn't be very much to cause any long-term problems.
And so what's the deal with this these blood clots with the Johnson & Johnson? What is that about?
I think there's a lot that still needs to be learned about that. It's a very rare side effect. There's only been about 1 in a million or even less instances of this specific blood clot side effect. And so far, I think there was 1 fatality from it. And a lot of the reason that I think that happened, as well as the severe reactions to these blood clots that happened already, is there's a current way that doctors will tend to treat blood clots. There's a drug, I believe it's called heparin, that is commonly used for treating blood clots. And what they discovered in trying to treat these patients who were getting the blood clots from these COVID vaccines, in particular the Johnson & Johnson and the AstraZeneca vaccines, is that heparin, which is the standard way of treating these blood clots, was not effective, and it was actually causing harm instead of good. And so I think that at this point, medical professionals are coming to learn what the difference is and how you have to treat the blood clots that are coming from the vaccine versus regular blood clot. And in addition, the odds of getting these blood clots from the vaccine are so much lower than you would ever see even get from getting COVID or from, I think somebody shared that even birth control pills have a higher incidence of blood clots than the vaccine.
I definitely understand people hearing about a risk of blood clots, and that does sound scary. I also, I did not realize a typical vaccine goes through 10 to 15 years of testing. I think the number in my head was like 3. I don't know why, but that definitely seems accelerated. But to be clear, these vaccines have gone through every stage of testing that's necessary.
They have.
And the risk of those side effects is so low as to be compared to birth control, etc. Kyle?
What you want me to put,
just your 2 cents. I wanted to.
Well, I think a large part of people's fear over the blood clots, but just vaccine conspiracy theories in general, is just confirmation bias. Like they're looking for something to justify their belief that vaccines are dangerous. So that's why they might pick out something like the blood clots and look at that and say, oh, vaccines are dangerous. We can't get the COVID vaccine. And while it's true that, the Johnson & Johnson side effects do include blood clots, it's like Liron said, other things like birth control pills can cause higher rates of blood clots in this vaccine. And there's no theories about those. I haven't heard any conspiracy theories that say, you shouldn't take them, or they're dangerous, or they're going to kill you, or any sort of thing like that. At least definitely not to the same level as there's been with a vaccine. So I think they see these rare cases, these very rare side effects, and because of confirmation bias, pick these out as reasons to believe or justify their belief that vaccines aren't safe. And so I think to a certain degree, things like this are a little bit overblown. And while they do pose a risk, they're so rare and even less common with a vaccine than they are for other things that I think it's not necessarily a reason to believe that the vaccine is unsafe. That
Yeah.
was a little wordy, but I
No.
hope you get what I'm.
No, that was good stuff. Are there differences between the different kinds of vaccines that people should be concerned about?
Between
Pfizer,
Moderna.
Moderna.
All of them are
Yeah,
good
so
vaccines.
I think the only difference, and Liron, you can weigh in on this too, but it's because I think they're all Johnson Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer, I think are all mRNA vaccines, but the method of delivery of mRNA to the cells is different. So from what I've read so far, Moderna and Pfizer use an adenovirus to deliver the mRNA to your cells. And this is basically a virus that's had all its genetic material removed. So it's just sort of the envelope of the virus. And they put the mRNA they want to give to our cells to this virus. And then the virus has the ability to target it itself to our cells and sort of get assimilated into our own cells and deliver the mRNA to us that way. So it's like a virus they hijacked to deliver the mRNA that they want to deliver to our cells. And actually, I misspoke. I think the Johnson and Johnson uses the adenovirus, but Moderna and Pfizer use something different, which is called a lipid nanoparticle. Yeah, so I said that backwards. I'm sorry. Johnson and Johnson uses the adenovirus, but Moderna and Pfizer. Yeah. It's I don't want to spread disinformation. Moderna and Pfizer use a lipid nanoparticle, which is sort of, it's just an artificial way to do the same thing. So our cells, the membranes of our cells are made up of lipids. And so the lipid nanoparticle is essentially an artificial membrane that they can use to contain this mRNA and then deliver it to our cells just like they would with an adenovirus. So it's just a different way to achieve the same result. Whether it's an adenovirus or a lipid nanoparticle, the idea is they transmit the mRNA to our cells and they pick it up and start expressing it and producing this spike protein of the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Cool.
And so a lot of the debate over the long-term effectiveness of these vaccines is whether these variants that pop up are going to be variants that are able to change their spike proteins and thus evade the virus. Evade the vaccine, sorry.
Gotcha. Okay, so these vaccines are giving instructions to our cells to create this spike protein, and the concern is that the variants will have a different protein, and that would lower our ability to fight those variants.
Yeah, so the antibodies that we produce as a consequence of the vaccine are very specific to the spike protein that's currently on the COVID virus. If the virus mutates and ends up having a slightly different shape to the spike proteins, those antibodies that our body produced in response to the vaccine that we received won't be able to recognize the virus anymore. And so you'll see people getting sick even though they've had the vaccine. But so far, we haven't had any mutations that have been able to significantly evade the vaccines. And regardless, even for the variants that have occasionally been able to see higher rates of cases, meaning that in the populations that have been vaccinated, there are more people who do get the virus. That doesn't mean that everybody gets it, but that there are some more people who do versus the average vaccinated population versus the original variants of the virus. Even still, those people are not getting the severe COVID that is really what we're trying to prevent. We don't want people on ventilators or dying.
Yeah, for sure. I remember I feel like that's something that kind of got lost in all the chaos of the past year plus, was our hospitals are still just overrun and overwhelmed, you know. And that's another thing, is people might be thinking, oh, well, I don't, you know, this, I'm young, this COVID thing isn't going to affect me that much. But if you're spreading it, if you're one of the people who ends up in the hospital, or you cause additional people to end up in the hospital, we only have so many resources, and that contributes to excess death as well. Yeah,
That's
shit,
the
guys. I usually the mood on this show is a little lighter, and I had this little card game that I was gonna play with you, but damn, I don't know. I wanted to celebrate tonight, but as I'm kind of taking stock of everything, it's just kind of hitting how hard it's all been. Yeah, Emily, but you don't wanna come into speak into this nice microphone. I think you should. I don't want to zoom in and post that far onto my own drum set. You're too far away. Maybe we'll put your theme song here. You know what your theme song is in my mind? Is that song that goes, no, I don't think. I was thinking of if I let it
the Kings and Queens.
Yeah, that's
Of course
what I
that
think
is.
of.
Yeah.
Yes, this is, well, go ahead. Miss Emily Brand. What were you gonna say? I don't remember.
Someone was about to say something.
No, you were gonna say
what
something,
was
and
it?
then
What
I
do you
had
want
you
me to
come
say?
over here. You were gonna talk about
Oh yes, so unlike these scientists, I have a very different career path. I work in the sports betting industry. It's a fun work. I get to talk about sports all day, which is something I'm pretty passionate about, you know.
hell yeah.
Yeah, working in Boston though, gotta fend away the Red Sox and Patriots fans. But
Oh yes, because though you work in Boston, that is not who you root for, is it, Emily? Ooh.
It is not.
Damn. You've just lost a big chunk of the
Your
audience.
sucks.
I'm just kidding. I have no way of seeing that. But yeah, okay. So not a scientist perspective, a little different of a perspective.
You want me to give my COVID?
Yes,
perspective?
please do.
I mean,
Here, I'm actually gonna go get a water bottle. So please
You want me to talk about my COVID perspective?
Yes, please do.
Oh well, I'm not as knowledgeable as the other two guests, but
That's
I
okay.
can give it a shot. Oh wow, this is very bright here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've had a pretty rough experience with COVID. It really hit hard for me and my family. We became really concerned about it and worried for, you know, for our sanity and our livelihood. Basically, we were quarantined in our house for like almost a year. Everyone was scared to leave. Everyone was scared to go grocery shopping, to do just very basic things, and it really took a toll on us. And myself, I also feel like I forget how to socialize. I don't know about you guys,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I get excited when I have like plans on like a Friday night or something again, which is like not something I ever really thought about in my life.
Yeah. Oh.
What happened?
His phone die? That seems like probably what would
That's
happen.
probably what happened. That's okay. I'm
It's
glad
like
I have
me.
the two of you, because the charades game I have planned, I do need two people who are not me to play it.
We're playing charades.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can play charades. What's wrong with charades?
Yeah, what's
Nothing's
wrong
wrong.
with charades, Emily?
Nothing's wrong with charades. Nothing's wrong with charades.
Oh, he's back. Welcome
He
back,
is.
Kyle. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, is he?
Kyle
Oh,
looks
there we
like
go.
he's in the middle of like the woods somewhere, and is just.
So yeah, there were some technical difficulties. Zoom kicked me out of the meeting for a second, so I guess I wasn't meant to
Oh,
hear
interesting.
whatever you guys just talked about. But
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
we were talking shit.
Yeah.
No.
We're clearly
I knew
talking
it.
shit.
I was like, you know what I hate about Kyle? He's so short.
Definitely the shortest guy I know.
Idiot.
I know. Well, right now I just look
Definitely
like
not
a
my
floating
boyfriend
head,
on
so
this
you
very
can't,
on this very Zoom call.
Never.
Oh yeah, the sexual tension between screens is
between
Oof.
me and he's talking about my screen and Liron's screen, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's for if you thought
That's-
me and Liron were dating, no, it's definitely Kyle and Liron.
No. This is the real.
This
It's
is the
been
real.
going on behind the scenes. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my.
Yeah.
the show's
Um,
getting a lot more spicy than Mr. Ryan Dunn anticipated.
I know it is.
We got
Um,
a scandal. Yeah.
cool. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for a really insightful commentary on the vaccines and COVID and what people should be concerned about. I
Sure.
think we can start moving into this final segment here, which is going to be the game of charades. It's going to be Liron and Kyle working together. Obviously, no speaking. You can go in and do that thing that's like one word, 2 syllables, dick flap. You know, you can do that and it'll I know that's such a stupid example.
Why is that the first thing that came to your
And I don't know
mind?
what kind of charades you've been playing, but I
I
think,
was
I
like,
think
what
we've
kind of
had
charades
different
are you
experiences.
playing?
I don't what God, I can't think of another 2-syllable word. Salmon. That's another one that you could
Salmon? Okay.
That's a 2-syllable word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those
I
are the
will
only
give-
2-syllable words in those.
I will give Liron the first word. It will be one word, I'll tell you that. If you guys can get the 5 words, no, too long, the 3 words or phrases, you will each get a gift card that can be to the same place that Smiling got his gift card, or it could be to any other establishment.
I'm not convinced
sure.
you have these gift cards.
I really do have these gift cards.
Okay.
What the
I'm
hell,
skeptical.
Emily? What? What? I'm wearing a suit. You don't think I'm good for it?
No.
Shit. I'll just have to prove it.
You will have to prove it.
Liron.
Sure.
Here, I'll just message it to
Right.
you in the chat. This is go first.
Wait, am I starting?
Yes.
But you know the word.
I know the word. Kyle does not.
Kyle
So
does
so
not.
I'm gonna
He
guess
DM'd it
what
to
he's
you.
doing.
How am I
So
supposed
Kyle
to
has to
pantomime
get the
that?
word. Then it's up to you after that. You can keep acting it out, or Kyle could act out a couple. But if you get the 3 words or phrases, that's how you win the gift card.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
it's
know
gonna
how
be
to
tough for
pantomime
me to act out things because the lighting's kind of bad. So maybe Liron can be the actor, and I'll just guess. Does that work?
Mhm. Sure.
I want to see Liron X things
And
up.
to make it more dramatic, I am gonna say that you have 12 minutes.
Ooh.
All right, Mr. Burstein, start with the acting.
How do I pantomime that?
I
do
don't
it.
know.
I don't know. Do something.
You can make sounds too.
Yeah, I was like, make a
decided.
noise. I don't know.
What is that? What noise does that make?
I have no
Liron?
idea.
I don't know. Can I pull up a video? I have videos of that.
Hell no.
That's true. He does have videos.
You're gonna act it out.
Wait.
Liron,
you
you're
just
wasting
have
our precious
videos
moments.
at the ready?
Start acting.
I don't have
He's
it at the
super
ready,
into,
but I
he's super into them, didn't you know?
Oh, so
You know,
like there's a reason that's the first thing that came to mind
No,
when I
I'm
asked.
just fucking
No.
with you.
wait, he's super into them. Is it an iPhone?
Emily, you
Is
made
it
me
an
a
iPhone?
fool on my own show. These guests, they make me look foolish.
You wanted me to be on your show.
I
I'm
did,
on your show
but
now.
damn, I didn't think you were gonna lie. Damn.
All right, so
Let
when
the
does our
record show
time
that
start?
Okay.
I'm very proud of
When
Ryan
does
and
our-
I love him very much.
okay.
So,
maybe I
just
can
like pushing
try
his
and
buttons.
All right.
remind you of what we were talking about earlier
Yeah.
and then get back to it from there.
You gotta stop
Like-
giggling. You gotta start less giggling, more acting.
Does that remind? I'm trying to like think of how to get his brain to that word.
Do like a this thing.
Iguana?
What
Is it an
you got?
iguana?
Yeah.
Did he get it?
Yes.
Was that the
I was
word?
I was hoping that I could get you to think of alligator, and I could be like, okay, not
Damn it,
that,
Kyle.
but it was earlier.
No, I remember because I remember we talked about it. You said remember an animal. And you said iguana,
Yeah,
and then
but I
Ryan's
didn't
like,
think
the
you were really
I
second
thought
one.
he got it from me doing this.
No, because you
Yeah.
said
It's
it'll
Just so
come
I
up
could be all
later.
clever at the end.
Emily
You
You
won the
literally
round.
said it'll come up later. Obviously, if it comes up later, it's gonna be during this game. You
Yeah,
blew it.
that's why you're the scientist.
That's why
I
they pay you
guess.
the big bucks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm really impressed though that that's all it took. I don't know. I would have at least gone shark or something first. Okay. I want to make this a little harder, but I don't want to make it too hard.
Do you have a deck of cards you can pick from
What?
with like different
How are,
charades?
how are they gonna get
Okay.
that?
I don't know. They got Iguana pretty fast, so I think
Was
you
that
can do
for
it.
me to act out?
Yes, that's
again?
you.
Oh, okay.
Douchebag.
No.
You're close.
It's a phrase. Like that. He's not gonna guess it from.
So close. No,
It's a
I think I'll
phrase.
get it. He
That's
can
the only
get
thing
it.
I can.
Is a phrase
Trades
I know.
is a phrase like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, you trying to go? Is it something like that? You want to
Close.
fight? You want to fight?
Close.
You got
Close.
beef?
No.
You trying to fuck? No, never mind. No,
Wrong
take
direction.
that back. Wrong. What do you mean? Wrong direction?
Yeah.
You trying to poop?
Yeah. That's
You trying to you trying to fight? You trying to smash? You trying to?
I think he's just the problem is the last one. That's why I was doing that.
You trying to?
It's tough. Not everyone wins the gift card their first try. Izzy didn't.
You're trying to kiss the homies goodnight.
No.
No.
What?
I don't know.
I look like a ghost.
What does this mean? Like, you're trying to? It's like aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. You want to fight.
It's close to that.
You're
I
so
don't know
close.
how.
So close.
You want to go?
Close.
Like,
Oh, Liron, give him
it
more.
was
give
closer
him more.
before. I don't know. I'm. The point is, it's charades, not like.
so like you got a problem? Like, is it like?
Oh.
You got a problem? Is it like that?
No.
So it's a phrase. It's something you would. Is there any other thing you can do, like, to act it out?
I'm trying to think. Hold on. Let me just make sure.
Can I give them a hint?
Let's see. Yes.
You keep saying I'm close. but
Fuck it. Yes, you can give them a hint.
You and Liron are this.
That's that.
bros,
Put it
homies.
Yeah.
put it together. Put it together.
Brony. What?
What?
Put it together. I don't know. Put it together. What does that mean? Like,
That's as clear as I can make it. I don't know without saying it.
is it like a frat thing? Like he's trying to be a frat dude? Is the term like frat guy? No, because it's a
I
phrase.
love watching Liron.
Yeah, you keep putting the hands up. It's like, what is it like? Put them up?
No,
Like put them up? You went, man, what the fuck?
kind of,
Like,
almost.
I don't know what this is.
I don't.
like you keep saying kinda almost, but that doesn't give me anything to go
This
off.
is your 5-minute warning.
Yo, quit it, Key. I don't need those threats. Can you do like another?
He's pointing to him, man. What is he?
Oh.
Uh-oh, our surprise
Oh my
guest
God.
has
Oh my God,
arrived.
there's an interruption. Wait, but I gotta guess
Mr.
what
Michael
Liron's doing.
Oh my
Tricka,
God.
surprise guest. How are you?
Hello,
You're in
everyone.
grades.
Welcome.
Oh, I would have
It's
dressed so
going
much
great.
nicer had I known. Oh, here, pretend I'm not wearing old
Tricka, can you
sweatshirt.
help us? They don't know.
Yeah,
how
I can
they
help
can't
you.
get this.
Can you text him the phrase and he can help act it out too?
Yes, Michael Tricka.
Yeah, if he can do
go
better
ahead.
than I
Can you
can,
pause
I'll-
our timer
I won't
until
be
he
surprised, but-
gets the?
Okay, yes. Timer paused. You have
All
4
right.
minutes, but paused.
Cool. So does he have the phrase now?
He's about almost.
I think Emily's sending it to him.
All right, cool.
So hints only now, Michael. Hints only. Hints only. Liron's doing a good job.
Liron is
Kyle's
doing
Who's
a good
trying to
job.
guess it?
too.
Who's
They're
trying
very
to guess it?
close.
Is it
Me.
all of them? They're
I'm-
trying to guess
I'm
that.
trying to
It's
guess it. I don't
really
know what
it's
it is.
Kyle has to get it actually.
Okay. It's
That's, oh my God. But that's the same thing he did. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I thought it's a common thing.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Just
Yeah,
for that,
it's like
I
what's
award
up?
an
You gotta-
extra minute
it's like,
on the
what's
clock.
Up? You got a.
I can't believe he had the exact same
It's
reaction.
like, what's up? You got a problem. It's like
The best
you have
part
a
is he has
problem.
no
Do you want to
context
fight?
of it.
Do you want to
Extra
fight?
minute on the clock, starting now.
Yo, like, I'll beat you up. You and me outside 5 minutes. Like, meet me on the court. What? You and me are gonna fight.
This is like literally watching myself in reverse.
hold on. Shit.
Do you have sex with my girl?
I see what Michael's going for.
I have no idea what he's
I
going
see
for.
what
I also have no idea what he's
It's
going
doing a
for.
jutsu? Is that the shadow clone jutsu? Is this Naruto? What is?
Is he trying to act out the
Am I
scenario?
looking at Kakashi right now?
This is
what is
exhausting.
Um,
Wait, so it's like don't fuck. I'll fuck you up. Is it I'll fuck you up?
No.
Like,
It's
fucking
close to
fight me?
something
It's close to what?
close to what you just said.
Fucking fight me? It's close to that.
Yeah.
Let's
so
fucking go.
close.
What is that? Walking? What is that? What is this?
What are you and Liron?
Friends?
Oh my god.
You had the word before.
Homies, bros?
Now put it together.
Put it together.
Keith, are you pointing?
Don't ignore Michael.
Let's
Put it
fucking go,
together.
bro.
No.
Let's
you were
fucking go,
close, so
bro.
close.
Let's Let's fucking fight,
So
bro.
close.
Can we do a commercial break? Can we do those?
Do we want to do a commercial break? No.
Everyone's keep dying as I'm trying to guess.
This show brought to you by OxyClean. OxyClean, clearing up any doubts you have about charades.
Is it I'll fuck you up, bro?
You're so close.
I'm gonna eat
This
my
show brought to you
microphone.
by the Dice Made Me Do It podcast. Go watch it on Spotify or whatever your podcast thing is. You know, whatever it is.
Anchor. I don't know if I have anything left.
2 minutes left.
Two,
Okay.
how many
He
minutes
said all the
I've
words.
added
back
a
together.
couple
We added like 20
grace.
minutes.
Okay.
I'll fuck you up, bro. It's so those are all the
No,
words.
Close.
You're
No.
so close.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
It's 3 words.
3 words. Wait. Go do that again. 2,
No. I don't know
One.
what else to do.
fight. The second word is fight. Okay. Fight me, bro.
Yes. All right.
Wait, so
now, 1 minute.
what
One
was
minute. I'm gonna
this?
send it to
It
Why don't
was
I know
the
that?
parents having sex and then producing 2 brothers.
Oh, oh my! How was I supposed to guess that? Yo, what? Man, I thought there
Okay.
was I was playing out a whole narrative in my head. I thought one of the dudes had sex with the other one's girlfriend and they were fighting at the bar. I was like, I thought there was a whole story.
That was a hard one. Give yourself some credit.
That was
I
hard.
thought that
was
this
really
was gonna
hard.
be enough.
Yeah.
Well, I
4
was saying similar
final
phrases,
rounds.
like
I'm going
I
to
know.
give Michael Tricka the phrase,
Oh God.
Okay,
and
sure.
Liron must guess,
Oh god.
and he will have 1 minute.
1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Emily
Damn.
will come up with the wait. Okay, give me a phrase. Give me a good phrase.
You got me doing the sex sign live for nothing. For nothing.
Michael,
Ugh. Yeah.
if you win this round, I've already blown the gift card budget on potential gift cards for Liron and Kyle, but
I have one.
I will give you a special shout out in the credits that talks about one of my favorite things about you.
Oh.
But only if you get it right,
I'm scared.
Liron.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh God.
wait, so just Liron gets to guess, or do I get to play too?
It's like, I
Up
don't
to you,
know.
Ryan, but
I
I'm
was like,
fine
I don't
either
know- I
way.
don't think that's how you spell that, but
It,
so
it,
is
it
it-
has to be a phrase. It has
Ryan,
to be a
can Kyle
phrase.
guess as well?
Are you rejecting this? Okay,
Kyle can guess too.
It has to be a
Okay.
phrase.
Okay.
I'm not
So we're on the-
rejecting.
we're-
Oh,
on
it
the
has to
same
be a
team.
phrase. Why are we doing
Sure.
it that way? Can you look up how to spell it? I don't know how to spell
Is
it.
charades usually a phrase? Is it
Ready?
usually like an object?
are you ready?
Oh God. Let's do the first
Start.
one. Just the first one. Okay.
Chicken?
Wings, flying,
Wings? Chicken
Flying?
wings?
pigeon, bird,
Bird?
flap. No, not flying.
I don't even-
Non-flying bird? Penguin?
A flightless bird. An ostrich.
There.
Ostrich.
Got it.
Wait,
that was
you
it?
got it?
Ostrich.
Liron.
What?
Kyle got it.
Emily said that we could go together.
Oh, I don't know. What? She's now looking.
I tried
up
to
how
get your
spell it.
consent.
I don't think we spelled it right, but you still got it. So
Yeah, we
yay!
spelled it right.
Oh, you did. Why is that the first thing that comes up?
What is it?
Okay.
Can
I want everyone to know this has nothing to do with my search history. But when you Google
ostriches? The first question that comes up under the people also ask tab is, are ostriches sexually attracted to humans? That's a
Oh.
Oh,
that is a
well, that's
food.
enlightening as to the mysteries of human nature.
Let it be known that we on Day is Done in no way promote the sexual relations between humans and ostriches.
No bestiality here.
None.
None.
Wait, I checked out for 5 minutes. How did we get to this topic of conversation? What? What happened?
They googled an ostrich,
Well,
and that was
Kyle,
the
to
search
find
result.
out, you'll have to go to Day is Done on YouTube
Oh,
and watch episode 4 with Liron Burstein, Kyle Mahan, and secret special guests Emily Brand and Michael Tricka. Let's end the show with Liron. What gift card would you like? Apple? Could it be Apple? Could it?
Something he can spend
Well,
What
on.
would it be?
we'll-
Oh,
We'll discuss later.
we'll discuss.
Wait, hang on.
Wait,
Okay, you
no,
can't-
who
you
wants
can't
the
say
gift
it
card
on
for
air.
spending it?
Can't say it on air.
Is Liron in a different part of the same basement that Ryan and Emily are in right now?
Yes.
Yes.
You just
That's
put that
brilliant. That's brilliant.
And it'll make sense if you watch Day is Done on YouTube, episode 4. Come check it out on YouTube.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Sounding a lot like I should watch Day is Done episode 4 on YouTube. Is that gonna be going up soon?
Oh, it sure will.
Oh boy.
Oh
Check it out.
boy. Yes, Kyle, what about you? What do you want your gift card?
You can just give me Amazon. I'm not gonna be sketchy like Liron and not say what it's to.
Serious. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And Michael, I can't give you a gift card, but I can give you a really nice. I'll get a nice picture of you that looks real good, and
Oh.
it'll be like, hey, Michael Tricka, he's a cool guy.
He's gonna give you
All
the
I
gift of
need.
love. And the gift of love is more important than the gift of a gift card.
The greatest gift
Um,
of all.
Any
And that's the
closing
real
thoughts
takeaway
or
from this
anything you
episode.
want to plug on the way out? I already plugged my other podcast.
Yeah, the
we
dice
plugged
made me do it. An
science.
actual play podcast for the World Without Number system.
Oh yeah,
Brilliant.
the dice made me do it.
Cool.
If you look and see all these dice that I keep.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
You just knocked the microphone.
Man's already strapped.
Liron Burstein, Kyle Mahan, Emily Brand, surprise secret mega special secret guest Michael Tricka. Thank you so much for coming. Good night, guys. Today's win brought to you by Michael Tricka, the devilishly handsome actor, playwright, director, artist with a brilliant mind to match. Thank you for being on the show.